to make at home that we do on a daily basis. Take it away.
Yes, the good old vegetable and fruit juice. By the way, yes, my ponytail is on the side.
Because he's cool.
Damn straight. So, yeah guys, there's pretty much everybody knows about the vegetable juice, and vegetables are, it's fair to say that they're unequivocally fucking awesome.
Even though I'm not a big fan of them, I still eat them because I have to.
Yeah, and we kind of all do. I've gone through phases personally where I've cut vegetables entirely out of my diet and I felt awesome. But what I've found is that as I get older, I need to actually increase the intake of vegetables in there. And I found it to be really good with helping with just overall health, really. One of the biggest impacts I found was that my joint health and the overall pains and little niggles and stuff that I get from training isn't as prevalent. I don't really get those as much anymore. And when I started to look into it, I found that it was due to two main reasons. So one of them was that the vegetables and fruits and stuff, the fruits and vegetables, by the way, what you didn't see there was my mum just crawling down to get stuff started on the stove. That is mother's love right there, trying to get dinner ready for us without interrupting the video. Anyway, so everyone knows that vegetables and fruits and stuff are really high in something called antioxidants. So what are antioxidants? Well, our body is exposed to oxygen, obviously everywhere. We need it to live, but there's also a chemical reaction that happens within your body when you take on oxygen. And obviously, if you train and you're around environments that are heavy with pollution and stuff, the oxidative stress can actually start to run rampant and cause cell damage on a molecular level. I'm not going to go into that now. I'll go off way too much of a tangent and probably just lose you. So look it up on Google or YouTube, oxidative stress, and you'll get a bit of a better understanding on that. The other thing that I found was that it really helps to reduce chronic inflammation through reduction in oxidative stress, was what I found. So chronic inflammation, just to touch on it, is something that's pretty prevalent in the Western world. To give you guys an understanding of the difference between chronic inflammation and acute inflammation, an example of acute inflammation would be the soreness you get from after a workout, or if you were to injure yourself, bang your thumb with a hammer or something, the throbbing, the swelling, the pain you get, that's an example of acute inflammation. Inflammation is the first start of the healing process. So just think about that the next time you go and just willy-nilly take a couple of anti-inflammatories when you are feeling in pain. Because inflammation is the first part of the healing process, and you need to let that take place.
When training.
No pain, no gain, right? Anyway, so that's an example of acute inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a lower level systemic, so overall body inflammation, where basically all the cells in your body are going through a state of stress. So unlike, if you were to train legs and your legs get really sore, and that's an example of acute inflammation, which is localized to the leg muscles, chronic inflammation is something that's going to be through the entire body, and it actually serves as the root cause of all disease. Everything can pretty much be traced back to chronic inflammation. And the way that I think about it is, or the way that I differentiate it the best is that I think of chronic inflammation as being something that you can't really isolate where it started, and acute inflammation is you can actually relate that to a specific event. Now, how do you know if you're chronically inflamed? Probably the two biggest things that I know of, that I've seen in myself and in clients as well, is painful joints and just overall body pains, and also really hard to grab skin. And the reason for that is that people who are overweight and have fat, lots of fat, they will tend to obviously have poor diets, and fat cells are pro-inflammatory. They release pro-inflammatory markers throughout the body that basically turn everything into a slow sludge. So instead of your body being this really nice filtrated system with good circulation and just clean, smooth fluid going through it, because we are mostly water, it's like it turns into a, like I said, you know, like a dirty sludge, and everything just slows down. You know, your kidneys slow down their filtration process, your liver struggles to detoxify everything, your digestion slows down, fat loss becomes really difficult. So yeah, those are some good indicators as to whether you're chronically inflamed or not. So with all that in mind, we're going to give you a few really simple to do tips that are going to help to reduce chronic inflammation and reduce oxidative stress. What do you think?
I think it sounds good. I definitely need some of that in my life.
We all do. This is something, guys, by the way, in terms of how to apply it, there are two main times that we think you're going to get the benefits from it. One is obviously straight after training, when you've got oxidative stress at a higher level because you've been training. And also first thing in the morning when your body is in a natural detoxification process. So let's get into it.
But first, before we go juicing, I just want to show you guys what we've decided to include. So we've got some cucumber, bok choy, apples to
sweeten the deal.
Lemon, carrot, ginger, eggplant, which is a new one, cumin seeds, and some turmeric.
Turmeric, yeah.
And a not very good juicer, but we got to work with what we got.
It gets the job done.
Oh yeah, so let's start juicing.
So the first thing we're going to do is juice up some lemons. Lemons are really good with the second part of the natural detox process. They help to bind to toxins in the blood and take them out for excretion. So what we'll do is we'll just blend up a couple of these. Also, if you've got a few vegetables that are like really, you know, intense flavored, this will help to just sort of numb that a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely like the lemon in there. It just takes away the vegetable taste sometimes. It's just a bit too much. Otherwise, you feel like you're drinking salad.
That's all right.
Juice it, juice that lemon.
Make sure you use a little bit of muscle in this. This can be quite difficult. So here's one I prepared earlier. Moving on. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to juice up the bok choy. And essentially, so easy to do. Alright, another good little tip, guys, to help with reducing inflammation levels is to add some cumin seed, ground cumin, part of the ginger and turmeric family. And also some turmeric powder. Turmeric is really being recognised as one of those awesome superfoods in the world, just for reducing, like I said, you know, chronic inflammation and just all round awesomeness, really. Increasing all round awesomeness. Oh! Now another good tip, guys, is to, when you are having this, is to take your fish oil. Gotta get your fish oil in.
Even Max's got to get his fish oil in, don't you, bud?
Makes that nice shiny coat. Fish oil is really good for reducing inflammation as well. It's good for cell health. What it does is it helps to increase the permeability of the membrane of the cell, which just means makes it like better at taking in nutrients and taking out toxins. So yeah, good idea to take that on board because there's a lot of fat soluble vitamins and minerals in the fruit and vegetable juice that need fats to actually bind to then be taken into the cells where you're going to get all the benefits from.